Welcome to the Versed Podcast, a daily pursuit to uncover what the Bible says. Today we are reading Judges chapter 21, verse 25. Let's get into it. Is there one absolute set of moral standards? And where do morals come from? Is there an absolute truth? Is there a truth that is absolute? Culture today, specifically American culture, would tell you that there isn't. Which the problem with that belief is that it refutes itself. Because that you would have to deny that belief that you hold is absolutely true. But either way, people are increasingly comfortable living in the denial of that there is an absolute truth. There's actually some encouragement here today if you're struggling with that idea, whether it's personally or the fact that it just frustrates you that culture believes this. Modern America is not the first culture to have embraced what is called moral relativism, denying that there's a fixed, objective, transcendent standard of right and wrong. There's nothing new under the sun ever. We aren't coming up with new ideas. Israel, during the time of the Judges, embraced this as well. Moral relativism. The book of Judges depicts a recurring cycle of events where the ancient Israelites sinned, God handed them over to their enemies, the Israelites cried out for deliverance, and then God delivered them. And at the end of each cycle, the whole process would start over again. The concluding verse of Judges explains the reason for this trouble, and that's what we're studying today. Before we read, we're going to look at a little bit of context here. So we're in the book of Judges, which is a period during the time of Judges, which was a period of time from 1370 to 1040 BC, a time of great turmoil for the Israelites. They had recently settled in the land of Canaan and were constantly being attacked by the neighboring tribes. The Israelites had no centralized government or leader, and as a result, they turned to local leaders known as judges. And these judges protected them and guided them. They weren't kings necessarily, but they were these individuals that were chosen by God or by the people to lead them in these times of crisis. And many of them were military people who led the Israelites in battle against their enemies. So, with that bit of context, let's prepare to read just one verse today, Judges 21:25. In those days, there was no king in Israel. Everyone did what was right in his own eyes. So we actually have some important insight here on human nature, particularly fallen human nature. Without a king, people will quickly descend into doing whatever seems right to them. The absence of a king in this time period, in the period of the Judges, was twofold. First is that there was no human king, meaning there was no representative of God's righteous rule to direct the people in the way that they should go. More importantly, there was no king in the sense that the Israelites did not acknowledge or obey the one true king, namely Yahweh, God, who created all things. People may deny that there's a fixed standard of right and wrong for everyone, but if they really believe this, they wouldn't get upset when their property is stolen or when someone hurts their loved ones. They get upset because they expect all people to abide by a standard that exists outside of us. The standard exists. There is right and wrong. We can't just live in denial. And because of it, there is a demand on each of us to abide by what is right and wrong and to point to the one that is outside of us. Being more aware of that is where people actually come into closer relationship with their creator, Yahweh, God. As with every episode, we're going to take a minute or so to reflect on what was revealed today. I know that was a huge topic that you can't cover in just one single verse, which is why I always encourage you to do some further study and reflection and meditation on your own. We're going to take a minute or so to do that now together, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. We'll do that with the music rolling and then come back on the other side. Thanks for checking out the Verse Podcast today. So glad that you are here and joining me in this pursuit to uncover what the Bible says. The resources I use for my study are in the show notes, as well as my social media, and you can connect with me there. I'd love to talk to you. Have a great day. We'll talk soon.